Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Evexia webinar series. Our topic for today is a smarter workflow, unlocking lab integration in functional medicine. My name is Christopher Chu. I'm the Director of Marketing for Evexia Diagnostics and will be your host for this webinar. Today I have the distinct pleasure of being joined by exciting guests, Ali Teagan and Vinny Frangella, who will be our presenters for this webinar. Ali is a Director of Lab Services at Forum Health and Power2Practice. She brings a unique blend of clinical insight and business strategy to help practices grow and improve patient care through optimized lab services. Vinny is the Director of Sales at Power2Practice. With over a decade in healthcare across software, specialty sales, and medical equipment, Vinny brings unique clinical perspectives on how Power2Practice is a vital tool to ensure clinical success from solo providers to multiple providers' locations. Without further delay, I will now turn the webinar over to our speakers.
Hello everyone, welcome to our Power2Practice and Evexia Diagnostics webinar number 2. You have Vinny Frangella here, the Director of Sales with Power2Practice. For those that don't know, Power2Practice is a all-in-one EMR and practice management solution designed for the integrative and the functional medicine space. It streamlines scheduling, charting, e-prescribing, lab integrations, and patient engagement while offering specialty tools for cash-based and concierge practices. With our exclusive lab partnerships, supplement ordering, telemedicine capabilities, Power2Practice enhances efficiency, boosts revenue, and supports personalized patient care. It is my privilege today to introduce Ali, our Director of Lab Services. Ali?
Hello, everyone. Yes, as Vinny said, my name is Ali Tenhagen. So I am Director of Lab Services here at Forum Health and Power2Practice. So very excited to talk with you guys about our new integration with Evexia Diagnostics.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ali. I did want to start off with a first question to yourself there. Evexia Diagnostics recently teamed up with Power2Practice to revolutionize lab ordering for all of our mutual clients. How can this seamless integration within Power2Practice, the EMR system, supercharge efficiency and elevate patient care?
Yeah, so we're really excited about this partnership with Evexia. We'll kind of dive into some of the benefits throughout this webinar and kind of give you guys a little bit of a peek as to what this integration looks like through our platform. But really the biggest benefits are everything that an Evexia customer gets through their account with them, access to functional health reports, access to ease of ordering, access to 30 plus different lab companies. Now all of those customers really get that same benefit added into their Power2Practice account and being able to order and easily access all of those labs right within embedded in their P2P account. So they no longer would have to leave their EMR system to place these orders and receive results from all these 30 plus different lab companies.
Wonderful. Thank you for that explanation, Ali.
So, Vinny, I want you to talk about, if you don't mind, what are some benefits and advantages that P2P and Evexia Diagnostics together, the partnership can bring to providers? Does it help reduce costs and boost profitability for these customers and their clinics?
Yeah, great question, Ali. And I would love to get into deep on today's webinar and look forward to individual conversations with those that this sparks some interest in. But first and foremost is definitely enhanced revenue streams. This comes a twofold kind of partnership there. By increasing profitability, cash payments eliminate the administrative burden of insurance claims. It also helps streamline operations and reducing your in-clinic overhead costs there. This will also be improving clinics' cash flows. Immediate payments for lab tests that you as providers are ordering is going to give your practice consistent revenue rather than waiting on insurance reimbursements there. Number two would be streamlined operations. by going in a cash pay model there, this will have simplified billing for you and your clinical staff there. No need to navigate the complex insurance codes and follow up on denied claims. You will also see a faster turnaround time since patients are paying you as a practice directly. There is less administrative burden takes on all of these follow-ups for insurance reimbursements there. You will also see improved patient care. This is because Evexia Diagnostics and Power2Practice gives you access to specialized testing from a cash-based model perspective, allowing you to offer your patients cutting-edge diagnostics without restrictions from insurance companies. Also, your patients will see transparent pricing from day one. Patients are going to know up front what they will pay for, further fostering deep trust with your clinic and your practice and reducing surprise billing at the end of the day. You will also see improved patient care when it comes to customized treatment plans with fewer limitations on a cash-based business model when it comes to labs. You can recommend the most appropriate test for each patient's unique needs. The last two aspects where you will see your patient's experience and clinical streamlined operations improve is going to be increased patient compliance. There's going to be fewer barriers because of the cash pay program there. Transparent cash pay pricing encourages patients to proceed with recommended testing from your provider lens. Also, getting faster results. Patients do not have to wait for insurance approvals, leading to not only quicker diagnostics, but also quicker customized treatment plans laid out by your providers there. Lastly is going to be the competitive advantage that this integration gives to you and your practice there, differentiating your practice from others by offering cash-based testing versus always using that insurance bill. Also allowing your clinic to have greater flexibility, tailoring your services to your patients without being bound by insurance constraints. So that was a lot, but I felt like it was important that I went over everything and all the different aspects that this integration is going to streamline and improve not only patient care, but clinical operations, while also being able to drive new bottom line dollars to the company's revenue. Ellie, another question for you. Can you talk about some of the top labs that are offered with this new integration?
Yeah, so as we mentioned earlier, Evexia is going to offer our Power2Practice customers through this integration 30 plus different lab companies that they now would have access to. So those companies include companies like LabCorp, Access Medical Laboratories, Boston Heart Diagnostics, and then it'll include a handful of really well-known and widely utilized specialty lab companies as well, such as Precision Analytical or Dutch, Genova Diagnostics, Doctors Data, ZRT Laboratory, and so many others that would be included within this integration through Power2Practice. So Vinny, now that we know kind of all of these lab companies that are offered through the Evexia integration in Power2Practice, would you be able to walk us through how easy it would be to actually order these labs through the Power2Practice EMR and track provider and patient's labs?
Yes, I would be happy to do so. So give me a second here while I pull up my mutual screen share and walk through the steps in a step-by-step version. What we are looking at today is we are in a test patients chart here. And what we have gone down to is on the bottom left section under ordering lab test. So once you click on lab test, you will be brought to ordering labs. So what we're going to do first is I will show you from the perspective of a specialty lab using Precision Analytical and ordering our user test patient here, a Dutch test. So first you'll see under lab companies, this is going to be post Evexia integration there. You'll see in parentheses all the lab companies with Evexia behind it if that is accessed through your Evexia account there. So we'll go ahead and select Precision Analytical, which we already did. It will default to the provider who is seeing this patient here. That's going to be myself in this hypothetical. We'll have a date to draw, a bill to option that we're going to select bill to practice. You still do have the ability to select bill to patient. It lives then in a test order until that would be paid by the patient, making it an actual lab order that can be drawn once the patient makes a payment to Evexia here. But in today's example, we'll default to where most of our orders come in on the practice billing side of things. Blood collection type is going to go to none because this is going to be a test kit that's going to be shipped out to the patient's address we have on file there. And then Evexia provider, if there was more than one provider, that's where you would be selecting it right there. You have a smart search bar here to search for anything offered under the precision analytical lens, but you also have the ability upon setup to favorite some of your commonly ordered tests when it comes to precision analytical there. Again, the value is the more and more little clicks and time savers we could have with templates, with save labs, with test groups there. That's all going to add up over time as a efficiency play, allowing you to spend more dedicated time with your patients. And as this adds up over the course of the year and our time together, allowing you to accept more patients into your patient census here. For today's example, we'll use a Dutch complete test. As you select that, you will now see a Evexia subtotal. This is only going to be viewed to your and your staff lens. It is never going to be showed to the patient there. And then you would go down here if you're ready to order. You could save it as a pending order, or you could click order if you're ready to send that out today. So we already did that, so we'll click OK. And then this is going to be what the lab order looks like here. This is going to be, again, only for clinical eyes only, because that Evexia subtotal is what the practice is going to pay Evexia there. Now, you might be saying right now, okay, where is the opportunity? This is where you as a business owner need to understand what you're offering to your patients there and what is best practice for your clinic there. Is it trying to pass as much of these savings along to your patients there, or is this an opportunity for a small percentage upcharge, a flat fee upcharge, or is this something that you plan to roll out in more of a membership model there to your patients, where you could easily list this as a $350 line item of value, building in $50 worth of margin every time a Dutch complete test is ordered here. So that's the first example when it comes to a specialty. I'm going to flip over here into a LabCorp example. Let me refresh my screen so you see it from day one. So we'll go down here to lab test. We'll find our lab company. In this example, we're going to go with LabCorp. We're going to have the provider be myself again, date to draw. We're going to bill to the practice. Blood collection type, we're going to say they're going to go to a local patient service center of LabCorp. And then now we have two examples here of a thyroid panel and an initial panel. So if you are building these out, again, as a time saver and efficiency play, you could select a thyroid panel knowing this patient's coming in as a thyroid patient. And then now we have a 3 selected test built off of that thyroid panel there. Totaling $34 in total. If you are interested in seeing what each test accounts and totals there, you would hover over with your cursor. Reverse T3s at $23. The CBC panel is $5 there. And then the thyroid hormone is going to be a $6 test, totaling $34 in total. If this is ready to go, you would click order. This does take roughly about 30 seconds for that to complete. So for the purposes of today's, I'm just going to flip over into the receipt that your patient will receive in their patient portal, and will also be in all the document section there for your patient. Evexia and LabCorp will also get a copy of this request here to make it in a paperless ordering format. And then at any time throughout the ordering process through Evexia, you have the ability, because as we click order here in Power2Practice, all orders are mirrored instantaneously and can be seen through your Evexia portal too. So if you have a preference of going to Evexia and seeing kind of what's ordered on the reconciliation side of things, you will still have all the Power2Practice orders reconciled in your Evexia account there. I did have another question for you, Allie. If a provider already has a Evexia Diagnostic account today, can they access the labs instantaneously within Power2Practice?
So we can walk through what that setup will look like for an Evexia Diagnostics customer that does want to have their account integrated into their Power2Practice account. Once that request is made to our customer service team over here at Power2Practice, it typically takes up to 24 hours for that account to fully integrate and become available to use in your Power2Practice clinic portal. Okay, so if you are not a current user of Evexia Diagnostics, that would be step number one. We'll want to get you guys set up with an account with Evexia Diagnostics, which is very easy to do. You can just go to their website, evexiadiagnostics.com, and fill out their client application form. That takes really under 2 minutes to complete. Once you do have an Evexia Diagnostics account, however, and you sign into that account, you'll kind of see your dashboard like I have shown here. And if you would like to set up your Evexia Diagnostics account to be integrated with your Power2Practice account, all you'll have to do is sign in and then hover over this Tools drop-down bar that you see here. You'll at the very bottom see the EMR integration tab option. Once we click on that, you'll see all of the EMRs that Evexia does integrate. So we'll see Power2Practice listed here in the middle. So obviously for today's purposes, we would want to set up a integration with Power2Practice. Because our account already is set up for integration, you can see that our states manage integration. However, if you are not currently set up with an integration, you'll see this Enroll Now tab. Once you click on either one that's available for you, you'll see this API key code that will show. And we suggest that you either screenshot this page and or hover over this and highlight and copy and paste your API key number that shows for your specific Evexia account. And we'll need you to send this code over to our Power2Practice. Now that we walked through how to get a customer set up with their Evexia Diagnostics integration, Vinny, I'm curious, can you share with everyone, would a customer have access to all the lab companies and labs that are offered through Evexia Diagnostics through their Power2Practice integration?
Yeah, great question, Allie. So first, I want to start off by clarifying that this integration is outside of any insurance billing. These are for cash paying lab patients only. So that's going to be the first kind of call out and caveat there. I know a lot of providers in the integrative functional medicine realm are cash pay practices, but they do allow for their patients to be able to ask for a super bill and run that up through insurance there. So just being a little more cognizant of where we're fitting in, how many patients we're able to help out there, and then again going back to my previous answers of the value that your patients are going to see by being able to pay you directly as a clinician writing these lab orders is going to be a win-win for not only the patient, but also for your practice there, because you're doing all this work, you're making these recommendations, and you're getting your patient to their health outcomes that they are set to achieve. And the other exception is going to be for providers and patients that are in the states of New Jersey, New York, and Rhode Island there. But other than those two caveats, every provider will have access to every lab that Evexia Diagnostics and their lab partners have within their unique catalogs. Allie, final question for you. If a provider is interested in learning more about this integration, whether or not they are a current Power2Practice user or not, how would they find out a little more about this integration and what it could do for them and their practice?
So anyone that's interested in learning more about this integration, like you said, Vinny, whether they are or are not currently a customer of Power2Practice, what I would really suggest them doing is a couple things. The first thing that they can do today, right after this webinar, is they can actually go visit our Power2Practice website. So that would just be power2practice.com. That is the number 2 for Power2Practice. And then if you want to learn specifically more about this Evexia integration and partnership opportunity, you can go to our Evexia Diagnostics landing page that we have available. So that's what I have pulled up here. So it'll get you some more information about this partnership. And then if you would like to sign up for a demo to have more of a one-on-one hand-holding experience with what this integration will look like, and walk through another example of how to order your labs through this integration and set up your labs, we suggest that you fill out our request a demo form here. So we'll just capture some information from you in terms of what labs that you're using today, and get you all scheduled for a demo with our customer service and or sales team of Power2Practice.
Allie, thank you very much for walking us through those next steps. We very much here at Power2Practice look forward to having very detailed one-on-one conversations with all interested parties, both current and new Power2Practice users. Hopefully today's webinar was able to shine some light on what this integration can not only do for your practice, your providers, your patients, but also to your bottom line revenue. Take care, have a wonderful day, and look forward to meeting all in the future.
For any questions or issues you may have, please contact Evexia Diagnostics by email at info@evexiadiagnostics.com or by phone 5 days a week at extended hours, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time at 888-852-2723. Thank you, Allie and Vinny, for this informative presentation. Thank you all again for joining us for this webinar event. Until next time, from everyone at Evexia Diagnostics and Power2Practice, stay healthy, stay safe, and we wish you all the best on your pathway to wellness.